Okay, well we are in this video going to go over the most important technique or checkpoint on the forehand ground stroke. It's super important. Maybe a key position you've heard about before, but I'd like to think I can share some new insights. We're going to even go over some drills to make sure you're doing it properly. But first, I would like to demonstrate with this new training aid I just bought. So let's see how long it takes to put together, how well it works. Fingers crossed. It says quick and simple assembly disassembly. So let's see what happens. So the parts have letters on them in the booklet, but there's no actual letters on the parts that you take out. So I don't really know which is which, but it seems like pretty self-explanatory. Let's see what happens. Ta-da! The answer is yes. You should have one. Everyone should have one. Now, I'm sorry this is turning into a quick product review, but this is no joke. This is a good thing to have. Why? Well, look, I know you need data. You need to see where the ball flies, where it lands to really get true accuracy. But it's not meant to replace practice. That's not the point. The point is if you have anything technical to work on, like what we're about to go over today, which even me, I'm working on right now as I do this, this is a great tool to have. Why waste your time at the court working on a unit turn? Like for example, if you're a straight backer and you want to work on a unit turn, that has nothing to do with the impact of the ball necessarily in the flight. So you can come out and take your K Sports backboard and just do work on your unit turn. You can work on going from this to this. Now I will say I don't think this is the intended use of it. I think you're probably supposed to let it bounce on the ground after it hits this railing. But I kind of like the challenge of this being on carpet. I could go get a piece of wood and let it hit the ground and give myself a little more time. But I like the challenge. I like that it's dropping into my racket. It makes you almost hit up more. So I just hit my fan there. But I like that it's so narrow. Some of these are too wide. This is great. Now, as far as portability, was it really as portable as they describe it? Honestly, I couldn't see breaking down and setting this thing up for just random trips to the park or taking it to a tournament with you. I mean, you could very well. It's not that bad, but it's not really, I mean, as you could see, it was probably 20-minute setup. So I don't think it's that portable, but it's, you know, relative to having it around the house and then moving it from like your garage to your studio or something like that, it's very portable. But again, not quick setup, quick breakdown. Okay, so anyways, back to this low and closed or pat the doggy position. You know, the first question is it fundamental? Is it something, in my opinion, if it's fundamental, it should happen on almost every shot you hit. So let's take a look at this point from Federer where he hits 5 or 6 different forehands from different positions, and let's see if in every one of those he gets low and closed below the ball. Obviously the answer is yes, yes he does. Now the reason the racket needs to be closed or tilted down or patting the doggy on that is very simple. Your arm works on a radius. So if you want to swing your arm out very fast without having to make little calculations, if you close your racket face here, it's going to be nearly vertical there. And that's why you really need to close your racket face so you can swing out fast with less adjustment. Again, I don't care if you're a little inverted, take your racket back this way. It really depends on how much lag you're going to do with your wrist, but regardless, you have to let those strings fall this way. And if you want to do it in a relaxed manner with gravity, when you turn, you should already have them slightly leaning down. So when you do, just let that arm relax, which is such a key, is just letting it drop relaxed, that it falls this way. If you're on edge even like this, and you relax, it's going to have a tendency to want to drop this way. Why I talk about this so much isn't just because it's fundamental, it's because it's so unnatural. I've been working with tennis players for so long. Beginners is one of my passions. I love getting people into the game. And I have never once, maybe once or twice, very rarely, had a new player come to the court and not turn their racket face up to elevate the ball. And you know, it works for them. They're playing tennis, they're getting into it, but the second they want to hit the ball with any type of pace, it starts to fly. And that's why I think right from the beginning of your development, you have to get used to this counterintuitive principle of turning the racket down to hit the ball up. And that is not a natural feeling. But the principle you have to learn, and the feeling you need to get right from the beginning, is that the ball will go up even if the strings aren't pointed up. It's the swing path and the friction between the strings and the ball that needs to pull the ball up. So, and I'm not a huge fan of progressions, but because this position is so unnatural, and because it's so important, when you first go out and play tennis, or even if you're an advanced player and if you think you're struggling, which there's a very good chance you are, myself included, I feed so many balls with a continental grip, I find my own forehand still opening up behind me and not leading in with the top edge. So just go out and start with your racket there. I know this seems silly and you don't want to lose the fluidity of the drop, but just start with your racket down and just get that feeling. Just practice the feeling of brushing the ball. Some people don't like the word brush, which I agree with. It implies too much vertical swing and not enough out through it. So compress and rotate the ball, but just get that feeling of starting down here. Again, you don't want to do this too much. You want to mix this in and only do it till you get the feeling, and it has a different sound. Listen to the thump and listen to the ching. You can hear those strings move on each other, and that's what you want. You want to make that ball slide on the strings. So go between, and again, this is something technical that you could do with this backboard at home. You could start one down here. Do this 5 times, you know. Do that 5 times, and the next one start up here, and then let it drop there. And then you could take it another step further where you turn, drop, and you're trying to get that feeling of friction until you can keep it going. And you're just working on letting the racket drop relaxed, low, and closed below the ball. Well, this has turned into quite the product spotlight, hasn't it? But I promise you it's not about that. All these are products that I truly believe in and really think can make you a better player. Sure, if you use the links in the description and I make $11, it really will help me explain to my wife why I'm doing this YouTube thing, but you don't have to, just consider it. Okay, here's the other thing about getting your racket low and closed. Just because you're doing that doesn't mean you're going to end up striking the ball properly. I see lots of people that like to get the racket in the low and closed position, but then they'll let the ball drop low, and they hit the ball before the racket starts to turn up. That's one way they'll kind of try to cheat and open the racket face to get the ball to go up. Or if you're just someone who feels like you can't really swing out and you have to slow your swing down, you're getting low and closed but you're still too tight, you still probably have to fix your perception of exactly what happens when you strike that ball. That's why I love the Topspin Pro. No, it's not just for kids, it's not just for beginners, it's a great litmus test to see if you're doing it right. Now watch, I'll take these 2 swings, they're going to be very similar. Here's one swing, it looks pretty good, right? You're like, well, that's not bad, I wish I had that swing. And I want you to watch how the ball spins. Now I want you to watch the same swing with just a little difference. Watch how much more that ball rotates. And all I'm doing is I'm coming in with the top edge, getting more friction, getting a little bit more, getting the ball to move a little bit more. And the other one on my racket's just 1 degree open, just a ½ degree open, and not getting those revolutions that I really need. So you can combine your Topspin Pro and the backboard. Make sure you're really getting that ball to blur and rotate. And if you're doing it properly, again, you're leading with that top edge. That's why I like to use a Topspin Pro without those guards on, because you will strike this sometimes if you're doing it right. So anyways, just to review, 1, film yourself. Make sure you are getting your racket below the ball and closed. And then also make sure your racket stay leading in with that top edge. Gave you some drills, we gave you a training aid you could use to help make sure you're doing it. Ball striking is everything, people. If you can hit a bigger ball consistently, you're going to win more tennis matches. Yes, links are in the description if you want to help me out, if you want any of this great stuff. But you can also head over to my website, victorytennisprograms.com, where I have lots of good freebies for you over there. You can take my Teaching Kids Tennis course for free, 5-day at-home practice course for free. Anyways, lots more to come over there. Be sure to join the mailing list. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to see you guys next time.